So, we're back on the Bad Brothers podcast. You haven't done that in a while.
The sound or the actual
sound.
thing?
You had it going every episode for a while.
Oh, it's back. It's all the way back.
You're laying back. There's one thing important that we haven't talked about on this podcast. And it's me having to keep your secrets. I don't keep secrets in my life.
I don't keep secrets either.
I have things that are private. This is how I justify it. Some things are private and some things are not. So I guess I do keep secrets, but I'm tired of keeping yours.
What's my secret?
I don't want to have to say.
I don't have secrets.
Yes, you do. On this podcast, you do.
Yeah. Secret pod. I know when we didn't talk about it last week, so now this is like 2 months later. 2 months ago.
It is.
I got 2 months ago.
It is.
I got engaged.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so I couldn't talk about it last time.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he couldn't be misogynistic with me.
The real deep down reason is I could have never told anyone ever. I could have cared less. And is that bad? Maybe.
Well,
it's like, should I shout it from the rooftops, or I'm just at the point in my life where
listen,
I don't get my pleasure off other people's opinions of me.
That's not even it. So there was one time in my life where I thought the Browning immediate family was just a normal sort of American family. And maybe there was a time in my life where I thought the Browning nuclear family was, that I know, was even better than average. But I've come to find out that we have our problems as well.
Yeah.
Because in the last 2 engagements in our family that have happened,
Mm-hmm.
there's some siblings that have not told other siblings that they were engaged, and they find out from days later.
Days later?
Yes. Even weeks later. What do you think about that?
That's happened multiple times?
That doesn't sound normal.
That's happened multiple times?
Yeah.
What was the first time?
When Julia got engaged.
Thought we knew right away.
No.
Thought Mom told us.
No, Julia was engaged for like 3 days.
What? Well, then I don't feel bad.
Yeah, so that fact kind of hit me last night.
But are you surprised? Because I thought about that, and I thought, look at prior to the Bad Brothers podcast, how often we hung out and we lived 10 minutes from each other. You expect information to get 2,000 miles across the country?
But what I'm saying is that's not good.
Yeah, well, maybe I should start a podcast with Julia, and so I could tell her these things.
Oh man.
Then I was thinking about our relationship and how, she moved when she was 9 and I was 18, and what our relationship consists of.
You're not 9 years apart.
Yeah.
You and Julia?
Yeah.
Are 9 years apart?
Correct.
Oh, yeah, because 15, yeah, we're 6. Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, so we're 9 years apart, so There was not a lot of building of communication lines.
I know.
And both of our personality styles as well.
I feel the same. She was 2 years old and I was going to college.
Right. It doesn't come from a negative space, but it's just the facts. Current status.
Yeah, I actually had that feeling. Did we talk about this? Oh, maybe this. Oh, no.
I don't think so.
But when the boys just started school and this is.
No one told me they started school. Just kidding.
I think they did. But,
I saw it on Facebook.
because this is Declan's first year of school, it's like seeing them next to each other, especially in like uniform clothes. It was like I really saw how different they are in ages. Not like it doesn't hit you every day, but just getting the freeze frame, you know?
Yep. Landon looked tired.
Yeah, he looked tired. Declan looked like he needed to poop.
Oh, I thought he looked excited.
He did, but he also needed to poop. But you know, I saw for them too, because I get to see them in relationship to us because they're the same amount of years apart, and I get to try to, I think, be better. But seeing them so different, you realize how hard it is. How, you know, even in a 6-year gap, it's like, yes, because your development is so.
You're always in like really separate stages.
Yeah, your worlds are just never, ever, ever the same. Even, and it's clearer when they're your kids and not you and I.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a challenge. It's like, even in your own home, it's like, what your experience. Oh, what I was saying is, as a parent, because then now it's like my responsibility. I want to make it happen. I want their closeness. I want to like manufacture that closeness if it's sort of difficult to achieve naturally.
Yeah.
But then my input on it's such a challenge.
No, yeah, definitely. And then add 2,000 miles and 3 more years onto that.
Yeah.
It's hard. What do we texted? We texted about it later on.
We brought her on the show. We have to wait till she's married.
I meant
now.
about the engagement.
Oh, we talked about it?
No, I texted her about it.
Oh, texted her about it.
Oh, so you accidentally said something and she was confused or what? Or you were about to? I
accidentally said something when I was talking to her.
Yeah, I kind of guess I just thought Mom would tell her.
That's what I tried to say to Tammy. I was like, I think he probably just thought. And then that's when I texted you, wait, do Mom and Dad know?
Yeah.
Because then I was like, I thought I'd be in trouble.
Yeah.
I know. What I'm saying is that's not good.
Maybe we need to start Lauren has a family group chat. So maybe we should start it.
Not because they need to still have that on their own. And if they want you to be in one,
there's another one.
A new one.
There's Airbnb Squad from when we went to the national colleague competition. And that's pretty much the family group chat plus me.
There you
go. But maybe we should start that. For things such as this.
For such a time as this, Esther.
What? From the Bible?
Yeah. That was her story. Saving the Jews.
For such a time as this?
Yes.
Is that out of the Bible?
Yes, for maybe she was born for such a time as this. To be a redeemer.
Good album name.
To be a redeemer for her people. She's a Christ-like figure, a woman.
Someone said...
Is that unbelievable?
Someone texted me the other day. Every once in a while I pull out like Bible knowledge that I forget I had. And someone texted me, like joking around the other day, it's like, oh, we should pray for something, blah, blah, blah. I said, what did I say? I don't pray in the streets for what? I don't remember.
Yeah.
You know that verse.
Yeah. Your reward.
I pray in the closet.
Well, I hate that at work too because I have obscure Bible knowledge.
Said,
in my
I
head.
don't pray standing in the synagogues and on the street corners to be seen by men. Oh yeah, it was about Mount Rainier venting. So we should get together a prayer group and pray for venting. I said, I don't pray standing in the synagogues or on the street corners to be seen by men.
That's good.
I should make that my Instagram bio or something like that.
Please do that for like a month and see if anybody notices.
I'll do it right now. So yeah, I don't pray on the street corners.
Okay, so now Will officially doesn't pray on the street corners.
What do you think about this? Speaking of annoying people in public, I've noticed something lately with the general public, and it seems to bother me. It has to do with personal space and what's the acceptable amount of personal space, and what are you allotted in a public situation?
There's many public situations. So
here's an example.
None of them are going to be the same.
Remember when we were talking about
Some might be the same.
when I was in line for the airport, and I didn't miss that the line was moving, and there was a space in front of me. But for one lady and her family, it was enough for her to walk in there.
I was just thinking about that today because I edited the episode for one.
Yeah.
But also, I saw some commercial of some Asian lady talking about their culture and stuff like that. So I was thinking, yeah.
So like to her, that was acceptable amount of space.
Mm-hmm.
Most other people probably wouldn't have tried to jump in there. Or here's another example. You get onto a train. There's seats everywhere, and then there's also these tables for 4 with like seats facing into the table.
Mm-hmm.
At what point? Why do some people decide, there's hundreds of people getting on this train. When I get on, and there's still people getting on behind me, I'm going to get on into this 4-seater and put my feet across, me and my life partner. I'm going to put our feet across and just take up this whole 4-person area where there's another couple that just ducks into a normal 2-seater.
And I'm not familiar with trains. Is it very clearly like they're thinking of it as like a booth at a restaurant and not
there's
seats on the train?
There's 2, 4 with a table, 2 in every car. There's 2 tables in every car.
And that's common then. People put their feet up there?
Yeah. Or one person will sit in that table and put all their computers and stuff. I get if they're trying to work on the computer, but they'll put like 3 bags and a computer and a binder.
Like when people do that on the ferry and
just
stuff.
Spread it all, everywhere.
That's worse. This is worse when people on the ferry, when it's just the commuter people who are going to sleep, and then they sleep in one of the table ones.
Yeah, why do you choose the table one?
Yeah, my family's trying to play cards. This is our 2 ferry trips of the year.
Yeah. Really bothered me in season 1 of Grey's Anatomy when they're supposed to be in Seattle, and they keep saying ferry boats instead of just ferries.
Oh, that's funny. I need to go watch an episode just
say. She says, I'm tired of hearing about ferry boats. So when Dr. McDreamy's from out of town, he always wants to talk about ferry boats. I've been on ferry boats. Anyway. But it's like, it was mind-boggling me the other day. Where you press it and all the letters bounce around all over the place.
Boggle.
And It's like, what goes through your head? It's like, I don't know. I just think of like, I take up the space I need. And then if it's like, then something comes up like later, like say, you know, you get on an airplane, you sit down in, you know, 24C or 24A on the window, and everyone's getting on. You're waiting. Oh, is this guy going to sit by me? Is this guy going to sit by me? And it just happens to be during COVID, and no one sits next to you, and you have the whole row to yourself. But you don't know that until they shut the door and everyone's sitting down.
Everybody's like, whoa, nice.
But there's people that just get on the train and instantly just lay down or whatever.
They don't think of it as a plane-like atmosphere.
Oh, no.
Where you need to take up one seat.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
They're riding it like a ferry.
I've tried to sit a person next to someone because it was sold out and full, and they were trying to tell me no and that they weren't going to move their stuff, and they said it wasn't fair that they had to sit next to somebody. That's how much they don't think it's like a plane.
You could say, well, it is fair because they paid their fare.
Mm-hmm.
And your bag didn't.
Have you seen Indiana Jones? When he doesn't have his fare, the Nazis don't have their fare on the blimp. So what do you think about that?
What was the original question?
People taking up space
in
public.
Yeah. We're talking about space in public. I don't know.
I just feel like it seems to be a certain like demographic of people that think they just get all the space.
Are you talking about how I feel about people invading my space, or that kind of person that takes up a lot of space?
They take up a lot of space. It's kind of like the same person that has no awareness that they're like stopped talking on FaceTime in the grocery aisle, taking up the whole aisle, and no one can walk around them.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to start taking pictures of men grocery shopping because it is the worst thing in the world. They always park their cart even at a diagonal across the middle of the aisle so nobody can get past. Mm-hmm. And then they're looking on either whatever they're doing, so there's no way to get by them. Men are the worst.
I saw this lady, I think she was like an older lady, 50s, older. And she had her phone out, and I don't know if it was her list or if it was one of those what's it called? Postmates, where you can do the groceries too, not just like food from a restaurant. And I don't know if she was doing it for that because she was like going through this list, but she was so focused on the phone list that she's like walking right in front of people, like reaching in front of people. Only thing her mind sees is the item on the phone and the item on the shelf, and she is just making direct lines for them.
Yeah, that kind of person. I don't know. When I'm out in public, I think it's actually easier for me. You know, they say like one of the things about social media, like when it's like anonymous or whatever, or online, when you can be anonymous with like a username, you tend to act worse.
Right.
But I actually think with like people I see out in public, I don't know them very well, and it's easier for me to give them the benefit of the doubt. So you think it'd be easier for me to get irritated with somebody when they do something like take up a bunch of space or invade my space or whatever, and it'd be even easier. It's already annoying, but then it's even easier to get more mad because they're just anonymous to you. But for me, it works opposite. It's like because I don't know anything about them.
Do you get more riled up online than in public?
No, I'm saying it's personal things that end up mattering more. It's like I don't get riled up except if it's personal.
I get the most worked up and anxious and annoyed in public.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because I work with the general public as well.
You're just like Father.
And it's like, I don't know, grocery stores, big one. I don't know.
It just doesn't. If people slow down in front of me, it doesn't really bother me. If they invade my space, it doesn't bother me. If they
Traffic type stuff really doesn't bother me because I drive in traffic all the time, I think. That's just like, we're just all going down the road.
Yeah.
But something about grocery stores really gets me a lot.
Now, if people do, not like a space kind of thing, but if they do a thing like, I did stop by a Safeway or something in the morning, and randomly this old person was like getting their full groceries at like 6:15 when I'm trying to get like an energy drink or something.
Yeah.
So they're like trying to.
And all the grocery stores now only have one checker and then 8 self checkout things.
Yeah, this is like they didn't even have the self check yet.
Oh,
It was one of the late conversion ones. And so this guy's getting his like green onions and, prosciutto or whatever. And so it's taking time to look up what it is. And then there's a person in front of me.
his bulk
And
nuts.
So he's got a cart. There's a second cart. And then a lady with an Amazon gift card and a bottle of white wine.
Last minute gift.
Yeah. Last minute, like a work gift, or something. And like I said, it was 6:15 in the morning. And she turned around and looked at me like, ugh, right? And, I'm saying this guy's getting his groceries. It took like 20 extra seconds compared to like walking up. And she turned around and looked at me like, ugh. And also like, right, we agreed together that this is a bad situation. And I must have been really on one that week because I remember thinking like the fact that, at that time I was thinking a lot about like all the food that is in a grocery store and how much like commerce that represents
think about
in
that
the world.
sometimes.
It's like so much. Like, it's amazing that we have food, like, like non-perishable food from all over the world in our grocery stores, or perishable food.
Yeah.
And it's just like a miracle,
I always think of the end scene, the post story scene from end of the spear, tip of the spear, end of the spear, where one of the like guys from the tribe comes to the U.S. and he sees the grocery store, and he's just like, can't even believe the amount of like stuff that's in there.
Yeah. And I remember thinking about that at that time, just like the amount, like that aluminum it was like one of those aluminum top wine bottles.
Yeah.
Just the aluminum, that it took to make the cap and get the text printed on it. The glass bottle, that sand is probably getting dredged out from somewhere in some country around the world.
Yeah.
And because we worked at like a label company, I was like, I know what it takes to get a label on a bottle and all the different points of shipping and what's it called where you... all the different
logistics.
All the different logistics that need to happen across all these different industries, not just wine company or, not just vineyard. It's all these resources around the world. It's like just for that one bottle you have in your hand, and you have a gift card in your hand for a company that can ship anything from anywhere to anywhere else.
You should see this Amazon warehouse down by Lauren's new house. It's like 10 warehouses.
Yeah.
And they have the fleet of all the trucks there.
Oh, yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah. And it's like the fact that like that just means nothing, but like her 20 seconds, it's just like, it's like a miracle that we have all that stuff and we're able to do all the things we get to do. That like, is your life so special and like significant and you've forgotten like how amazing the world is, the fact that you can't wait 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff in public is the thing that riles me up.
What'd you say to her?
I've just hated her for 10 years.
Did you just give her like a blank stare back?
Oh, yeah.
No reaction.
Yeah, no reaction.
I would have been mad.
It was
would have
just
been mad
quick.
at her just for her looking at me for any reason.
Yeah, she was just like, what?
Don't-
She like rolled her eyes like, you with me?
Don't look at me.
It was the big eye roll. And yeah, I've just thought of her. It's just more of a.
This was a long time ago. 10 years ago.
It's probably more than that. It might have been 15.
Donut run for Sunday school.
No, it was in the morning. It was on the way to work. It was, I think it was this Gig Harbor Safeway when I worked here before.
Oh yeah.
And, yeah.
Yeah, I think mine was more, what I was thinking was just like, not that I was like mad. I mean, it didn't really matter the other day when their feet were up on the chair, the 4-seater. It wasn't busy, but I was thinking like, why?
Yeah.
Or like what goes through their head that they even think that that's okay?
Right.
Because I wouldn't think that.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I don't know why.
That was an uncompleted thought.
I don't know. I guess I just choose to give the people the benefit of the doubt. And you don't.
No. I don't give things away.
Also,
No, but it's not about giving them benefit of the doubt or whatever. Like what would I
actually think it is because
what would I give them?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna defend them.
Defend them.
I just think of all the times I have, especially, or this is like a perfect like Rick Glassman situation. But I'm probably like for like autism. But even if you take it out of autism and just normal life, or if you have ADD or whatever, the sheer amount of times I've been doing something and been forgetful of a person. I mean, we all have to learn manners. But the amount of times I've spaced out and just thought about what I was saying or did something in public, and really if you look back in time, you're just literally not aware of anybody and anything going on. It gives you a little window into your own psyche or whatever. In the amount of times I've either like hurt people's feelings or ran into something or gotten somebody's way or forgotten to do something for them, the amount of times I've thoughtlessly like, or something with Tammy, like, hey, you come home and you put that there, like, you've done that ever since we were married, and it's like, you put your stuff right on top, or, whatever. And it's like, oh, I never would have even thought that.
Yeah.
And so sometimes when I'm out and I see people do something, I just don't even put like a moral thing on it. So it's just like, I don't know. Maybe they've never thought twice about laying down in the whatever. It's even somebody like a dog, people picking up their dog poop.
Yeah.
I mean, some things are crazier. It's like, how could they get through life not knowing you pick up your dog's poop off the trail? But it's just like, I don't know. Maybe that's how they grew up, and they're just like, oh yeah, the rain will wash it away.
So how you're defending their ignorance?
Yes.
That's their excuse.
Willful ignorance is the problem. Ignorance about something is just,
yeah.
That would be my best defense for them, I think.
So they're stupid.
I know.
No, but I don't know. Because I see, it's weird because I see both sides so often. You know what I mean? I see
like conscientious people and unconscientious
people. And it's
people.
like, so if, for example, today I go to the dump a dump I'd never been to before. And I'm like trying to figure out their system, and they're in autopilot mode.
Dumps are notorious for that.
Yeah. They're notorious for having a system, but not telling you how it works.
Yes.
And so I pull into
And
the
everyone's different.
dumping area, and there's a stop sign like this, and there's a stop sign at like 45 degrees.
I know.
And
So many
then-
stop signs at every dump.
And then it's like, don't go this way, or, you know, whatever. So I'm like inching and looking around and doing all this. And then like finally someone kind of like lock eyes with like a worker, and they start walking towards the car. And she's like, it looks like you're contemplating which way to go. I'm like, yeah,
Yes, it's not clearly marked.
Exactly. And she like asked what I had, whatever, directed me, blah, blah, blah. But like, that is how I also would be. That's how I am, like, in any situation. Like, if you're trying to say, oh, these people have probably never been on a train before, they might not know, you know, that's not just free reign on laying down on all the seats. But in my mind, if I didn't know, then I'm even more cautious of, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then there's a group of people that's the other way around that thinks, I've never been on a train before. Oh, here's this giant whole booth. Let me just lay across this whole thing.
Well, that's just the thing. If I end up striking up a conversation with them, and I find out there is some kind of motive that, I just don't care, then all of a sudden, the switch flips for me.
Then it's Indiana Jones and the blimp. Punch him, throw him out the window. They were on the ground, actually, when that happened.
Oh, you know, that's a good follow on TikTok and Instagram, too. Foley artists.
I watched it for a while, then it's all the same.
Yeah, it is kind of the same. It's still interesting.
The Wilhelm scream.
I'm so into sound on shows right now.
That's what that's called.
Yeah.
The falling scream. The, like, original one in Hollywood.
Yeah.
The Wilhelm scream.
Yeah, I get so mad when there's like the footsteps are too loud going down the thing or whatever. I'm getting very particular about that.
Yeah.
Like I'm a Roger and Ebert.
Quiet Place.
Siskel and Ebert.
Quiet Place.
Ebert and Roper.
Was great.
Still haven't seen.
But you know what's also on that Foley artist? Not the ones that do the normal stuff like zipping up your zipper, but the ones that do like the sci-fi sounds and how they create those using like the most crazy random stuff. Those are cool.
What show did I said I was never going to watch?
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. Yeah, can't do it.
That and Napoleon Dynamite.
I've seen that.
Yeah, but when did you see it?
I was a holdout. Yeah, years. That's like the only time I've done that. I do not go back. It's just like I'm satisfied. It's just like, yeah.
You gotta watch the first season. I don't know about the rest of them. I've seen the second and part of the third. And it lost me.
If I see one, I don't want it to eat me up. I don't want it to eat me up that I haven't seen the other 35 or whatever. I can't.
First season's good.
I won't. We didn't. Some podcasts break themselves up into seasons.
Yeah.
We never did that.
We don't take breaks.
We need to take a break now.
Yeah. We'll take a break until next week when episode 532 comes out. Which one are we on?
531.